Yo! Sorry, Wes. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the VR CruCast. Skibbity bop bop! I was looking through the chat there. There's some really cool comments already. How you doing, everyone? Good to see you all. And yeah, I was actually going to ask you, boys, have you seen the Eclipse? Have you missed it? Or did you watch it?
I think it's over.
It's over. Gone. I checked it out, though.
It was good?
I drove my car through it. I went from stop to stop. I was trying to get from place to place. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Mash, give me your thing.
I could have given two shits about the Eclipse, but my daughter was like, "Dad, let's go look at the Eclipse." And she had these glasses that she got from school, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's awesome." And then I touched some grass, and then went back to work.
Could you guys just see the comet? That's what I think was cool, is that you could potentially see that comet the size of Mount Rushmore up there.
Oh wow.
No comment.
I did not see the comment. Well, we did see the eclipse though. At first it seemed like it was going to be a shit day for it because it was cloudy. But the clouds started to break, and it was just the perfect amount of clouds in the sky to kind of make it so that you could see it without wearing the glasses. It just kind of peered through the mist just perfectly, and it was pretty cool.
I would like to have seen it. I think somewhere up in Scotland, some people could have seen it or something, but here it was like, I think it was pretty too dark anyway. Well,
the good news is we live in a technological age where we can all see it. Like I really want to see some photographs or film of the comet, because they say if you're like right in the middle, of the path, it's going to be completely dark enough to where you can see it really well. And I think that's pretty cool. I don't think that any of us I didn't think that there'd be something this cool in my lifetime. I know it just seems like another eclipse, but
wait, is this an eclipse or a comet?
So there's a eclipse going on, and there's a comet going at the same time. And guess what?
Holy cow!
All the planets are also all aligned right now, which all of that is, I was kind of alluding to it on our show a little bit last night, may or may not be good for earthquakes, especially along the Washington state, that whole fucking thing, and then right where Wes is at. So Wes, get out of there. No, just kidding. I don't know. I don't think anything's going to happen. But the planets and and a comet and an eclipse, sun and the moon, all have effects on our earthquake, our tectonic plates. So,
is that why you've got your galaxy background today?
Yes, yeah, I'm going to space. I'm getting out of here. Me and Elon are going to Mars, I think. Now we know why he's been so ready to get the fuck out of here. So
it is called SpaceX, and we mentioned yesterday, the path of the last two complete solar eclipses form an X over the United States. So
how did Elon do it? I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know where to go with
you brought it up, bro.
I did. Yeah. I just expected people to be like, yeah, I saw it. No, I didn't. And not the planets are aligning and total destruction is coming. And
well, my thing is, I don't think destruction's coming. I just because everybody's been freaking out, at least a lot of people here in the States, and I don't think it's warranted.
About what? About this event?
Well, because the two eclipses have made an X over the United States, so some people say that's a biblical sign. Who knows? The fact that there's a comet in the sky at the same time as the solar eclipse. And like I was saying last night, the last time this happened in 1811, the United States had 8 or 9 months straight of the worst earthquakes that we've ever had, making the Mississippi River go backwards. And did the exact same thing. Two eclipses that made an X, and there was also a comet going in the sky. I don't know about the planets aligning back then, but so
I think I better delete my internet search history real quick just to be safe.
Probably a really good idea. You should do that often anyway.
It's affecting people in chat. It's affecting people in chat. For sure.
What, the eclipse?
Yeah, someone shaved their balls.
Nice.
Oh, well, there you go.
Just in preparation, I'm assuming.
Is that not a normal thing that you just decided to, or
maybe he's never done it, and today is
just
well, you might as well.
It's been natural growth all this time, and then whoop.
Well, you'd think they would just shave one of them, right? And then it would be like an eclipse.
That's true. A little bit more newsworthy too. So.
Oh my god.
What?
We are
G-
off the
GT, how
rails.
long are you gonna let this go on, GT? You
I
know, I'm trying
might
to
just
let-
end the show now.
I'm trying to let you be the host, you know, but at some point I feel like I'm gonna have to step in here, you know.
Mate, let me get the introductions out of the way, and then you can rule the roost. So, how's it going? I'm glad you're all here. Thank you. Bradley cannot join us today because I believe he's been working and he's had to travel back or forth from work, but he will be back next week. But first up, let me welcome Between Reality hosts Skiva and Alex VR. How you doing, boys?
Hey, man, it's been a pretty unfortunate couple of weeks on Between Reality ship. You know, we had some family stuff kick up 2 weeks ago. We had to cancel a show. I had a dental procedure that came up on the same day of our last episode. We had to cancel that. So we're currently rescheduling a couple of our guests that we were like dying to talk to. But it feels great to be here. Feeling good. I feel like we're kind of back into the swing of things here, and we'll be up and running on Between Realities again this Friday.
Beautiful. How you doing, Skiv? You all right, mate?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, everything Alex said. Really excited to kind of get back into it. And I'm super bummed. I really, really wanted to talk to the two guests, so we had to cancel. So, you know, we'll get to them again later. But
Amazingly enough, I've re-signed him for my show this week. So fuck you
I would
guys.
kill you.
there you go.
I would kill you, dude.
I know you
would.
It'd be funny,
we
though.
do, but we do have Nazy coming up as our guest for this upcoming Friday, so that'll be fun to sit down with Nazy and get to know her a little bit better.
And you've met her before, haven't you? All of you, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's so cool.
She's a sweetheart. Yeah, she's awesome.
She's so cool. What was your dental procedure, if you don't want me asking? You don't have to share, but
No, I don't mind. So in 2016, I had a root canal done and a crown put on top of like the tooth that was left over. Long story short, it just like didn't work very well, and the tooth underneath that crown just like kept kind of getting worse over the years. And I started to notice evidence of that like maybe 6 months or so ago, and I just like kind of started pampering the tooth, like cleaning it a lot, like making sure everything was okay. And then a couple of weeks ago, the crown popped off, and I saw the tooth that was underneath, and it's like fractured in half, completely smashed, all messed up, like jagged as hell.
you didn't have any pain?
Not really, because I think the root canal
Pull
procedure
the root out. Yeah.
pulls everything out, so you don't really feel it. You know what I mean? So once that crown came off, it was like a oh shit moment, and I had to like rush to a dentist, be like, hey, like I need to get this thing out of my mouth because now it's just like sharp, jagged, weird, half broken tooth that was stuck in there. So I had it extracted, and I got a bone graft done, which is a pretty crazy procedure where they take basically like powdered bone and replace the space that your tooth used to be with this powdered bone, and then they take some of your blood and spin it to pull the platelets out of it and add the platelets to that powdered mixture, and it like your body like sees it and recognizes it as your bone as a result, and then like adopts it and like helps it form and fuse. So yeah, that's what happened.
That sounds like something off Red Matter too. When you mix
No, it
all-
works. I've got it in my left thumb. Actually, it did the very same thing.
Nice.
My knuckle was made out of powdered bone from a cadaver.
Yeah, it's mine is half cadaver, half cow, or like bovine.
Oh, you guys got dead people in you. That's
Yeah,
wild.
I feel like we're
Dead
being
animals.
left out here. Hell.
It's pretty amazing. The reason I think I was interested is my wife is in dentistry, and I just wanted to know. Wanted to know. She helps run a dentist. So yeah,
Oh,
and
cool.
she is also a dental nurse as well. So yeah,
She doesn't like to make toys. I'm just joking.
I don't know what that means.
What?
Hermie?
Eric gets it. It was an obscure reference.
Oh, that's good.
Only old people get it.
Yeah.
It was a classic Christmas cartoon, with the abominable snowman and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That was so good.
If you don't get it,
yeah.
we can't be friends. So just saying.
Well, I don't get it.
Moving
If you
on.
want to put it out,
You guys have never seen Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Oh,
The
you're
Christmas
talking to
cartoon?
somebody in the UK.
We have.
I know
is
what
it
you're
black
talking
and
about.
white?
Rudolph
Yeah.
is.
No,
well,
it's
he's talking about the
claymation.
elf. He's talking about the elf Hermie, who wanted to be a dentist. He didn't want to be an elf.
That's kind of crazy, though.
How do
Who
you
would
not
want to be a
base
dentist
your life
that
on that,
well?
GT?
Seriously.
I don't know.
Up
Mate,
next, we've got Eric from Q2C VR Gamer. What's up, Eric? How you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. We were kicking ass and almost awake from
chewing
the
gum.
marathon of virtual strangers last night. It was fun. We had a couple hours sleep. Back up to work this morning. On here, ready to talk some VR with you, awesome guys. So ready to roll. Ready to start the week. I can't start my week correctly without the CruCast. Nope, it doesn't feel right when I don't start it.
It was a weird one last week. We had that discussion, and I actually didn't have that thought at all this week, which was nice.
Yeah.
Because we're back. And last but not least is Wes and Root from Virtual Strangers. How you doing, boys?
Doing well, sir. Thank you.
I am doing amazing because I do want to finish with this. There is nothing's crazy happening. I don't know why everybody's freaking out about this thing. I say all that I researched all of that to find out that there's nothing going on. It's just really cool to check out in the sky.
Cool. I'm going to go on my Twitter feed anyway because I noticed there was loads of people posting pictures and videos, and I do like to see it. I think it's pretty cool, like a phenomenon. I think I've only seen it like twice, I think, in my life. And the first time, I was aware it was happening, but I don't really remember it. But this was like a full eclipse, wasn't it? Like sometimes they're not quite full, but this was proper.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds cool. It sounds awesome. So, what I was going to ask you, because I was hoping Brad was going to be here, but then I found out that Masha did it, is Apple have released new spatial personas. Mike was telling me about them, because he jumped in with Brad as well. It sounds like everyone played with Brad. And apparently...
play with Brad?
Yeah, and apparently, man, it's really cool. Like, really cool.
Yeah, it was one of the coolest things I've done. So literally, I think it was right after our show last week on Monday, he messaged me and Brad's like, you got some time tonight to hang out? I got some experiments I want to try. And I'm like, if we're doing it with the Apple Vision Pro, I'm down. I'll give you as much time as I can because I think it's super cool and I want to learn as many things as we can do with this thing to make it worth it. You know what I mean? So it was awesome, man. Yeah, so we basically get in with the new personas. You're no longer trapped inside the little picture frame. So if you've seen the personas before, you're like framed into a standard background. And all you could see was basically kind of like your head and maybe your hands a little bit. Apple has had a new update that's kind of released you from that. So now you see the upper shoulder portion, maybe chest portion of your body, but you're no longer like confined to just that picture frame. So you can stand up in your space and you can move around. And what that affords you is basically Brad and I got into a call with our personas, and I am now fully in his living room where he is. He's fully in my living room, and we can occupy spaces together and both affect different things. So basically, again, I see him in my living room. He sees me in his living room, and the personas look really, really good now. And then he has a big whiteboard up and he's got different things in the whiteboard, and I'm able to add things to his whiteboard, and I can walk up to it and point to things. And, we're having great conversations in the spatial audio. So I hear him wherever he's walking. And then I can so it's his whiteboard, but it's a share moment. So he can have objects on it. Like he had a sphere, a complete orb, that was 360, and I was able to manipulate it. I was able to grab it and turn it and move it. So think about like workflow, and you're looking at a model of a car for a car company, and say we're across the world from each other, but I'm able to like look at something and like turn it and show you and trying to like explain something to you in the same space. It was a really cool moment. And then we did it for fun, where we got into Game Room, which is the Resolution Games game room for Apple Vision Pro. And we played chess with each other right across from each other. And, I could see him and he could see me with the personas. And again, it's not the cartoony persona that you get with everything else. This is him and me. And like, I feel like he's there in my living room, and I feel like he feels like I'm in his living room. And then one of the cooler thing was we went into Steam and did Steam Play or Steam Share, and we were able to co-op Cuphead, the game Cuphead, sitting on the couch together. So like I sat on my couch, he sat on his couch, and the way that we situated each other, he literally looked like he was sitting on my couch. Like he looked like I looked over and he's right there, and he looked over at me and I'm right here. And like positioning wise, I absolutely felt like he was there on my couch, because it looks like he's sitting there on my couch. Like I can see when we get full body, when we get, because this is just the upper body, but when we get full body, this is going to be insane. Because literally, I felt like he was right there. I'm sitting on my couch, like occupying a seat on my couch.
Bro, this
And then
footage has been blowing me away. Like I saw that video of you and Brad sitting next to each other playing Cuphead, and it
Yeah.
was like shocking. All the videos of like all the creators that are getting together and like sitting around and like playing game room and stuff like that. It looks amazing. Like I don't know, like maybe it's because like we've been like kind of like very slowly like what's the word? Like they've been like
Stolen.
spoon feeding us little tiny
Yeah.
bits of this over the last few years, but like it like all caught up to me when I saw this footage and I was like absolutely blown away. I need to ask, when you're playing Cuphead, are you dealing with latency or does it feel like you guys are playing on the same console?
Yeah, so I had latency. So we were going off of his Steam share, and I had latency with my wireless 360 controller.
Yeah.
So and I think there's ways around it. We tried. We did this whole process took us probably like 3 hours, 3.5 hours that night of just checking different things out and trying different things. Like I tried to have my 360 controller, like, which is this right here. I tried to have it Bluetooth connected directly through the headset and tried to avoid my PC, you know what I mean? And thought maybe the PC was giving me lag, and it didn't really change anything. And and then I was downstairs in my living room, and my setup is up here in my studio, and like I had bad lag there between that, so I really had to come up here and do it, which kind of hurt things a little bit, because then I had to be in a certain space, which kind of sucked. I tried with the keyboard and mouse. I tried this wired instead of Bluetooth. I couldn't get it to where it was 1-to-1, no lag at all. Like it was but
It's because that game it's designed for local co-op. Because I've tried to do the same thing just without, with somebody else. And it has, unless you're on the same computer, you're going to have some kind of latency. So I don't think anything you could have done would have changed it.
And it's
that game
completely
specifically,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, that and
Like
it's unforgivable, isn't it? Like you split second stuff.
yeah, and especially a game like that where it's all about, if you guys have played Cuphead, it's all about
Fucking
Twitch, gaming, and it's like very fast and like shooting, and you have to avoid a lot of things. So, but it was still enjoyable. It was very close. Like literally, it's just a half a second off. Like, but even like anything when you're doing that, it just makes it hard to do. But this is the start, right? Like, I mean, this wasn't even meant for this, but this is like Brad being brilliant and just figuring things out, right? Like things just happen. Brad has this idea in his head of how he wants to do things, just like his laptop that he mocked up that he showed us last week too, where he ripped the whole screen right off the laptop and just has he has a virtual laptop on his laptop now with the headset. I mean, that's Brad, man. He just thinks about these things. So it was just cool to collaborate and figure things out while we were doing it. And then we just sat for and just enjoyed each other's company and watched a movie for it wasn't forever. It was we didn't watch the whole thing, but we probably sat there for like 40 minutes and just chatted, like him and on my couch, and just chatted about Apple and about, other things, and about Valve, and just like about how he's doing in Wisconsin. So it was just cool, man. And again, he's not here anymore. He's not in Florida. He's in Wisconsin. I'm here in Florida, and we were able to do it together. But it could be anywhere around the world. People are like, oh, why don't you just, he's like, oh, $3,500. I'll just go to somebody's house and do it. That's not the point. The point is when you can't go to somebody's house. Well, what if you're, GT, I love GT. We're really good friends. I would love to be able to hang out with him and do something like that where I feel like we're in the same room, or like anybody around the world. This is going to bring a whole bunch of people together when it gets to the point where it's easy to do.
Yeah, I think when I first tried Persona, it felt like an extension of FaceTime. That's what it felt like, just something that. But when I saw this and everyone's reaction, and more importantly, I would say the people who are reacting to this are the biggest of VR experts. Like, they aren't just someone just thinking it's wow. These are guys who have been in VR every day, and they are like, this is like next level. There was two things that he did. It sounds like Brad did some of the same things. So they watched a film together. They sat in an environment together, which was really quite cool, he said. And there was another thing where Brad had a helmet from Daft Punk, like a metallic helmet. And Mike said when he had it in his environment, it reflected his environment. Like he'd borrowed it. And he said it just fucking wowed him. And he mentioned as well, like you did, spatial audio. Like the spatial audio really added to it. And it just, I think out of everything I've seen so far, apart from Occlusion and this are the two things that really made me think, I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I'm missing out with this.
It's
And the
it's
other,
cool
a
when it
thought
gets
that I'm
there.
having too is like, so like, obviously like my brain immediately goes to like, how viable is this as a co-op experience? Like, can I actually play something without the latency? And obviously with this path that you guys were experimenting with, that answer is going to be no. But like, imagine doing this instead of just like a regular party chat when you're playing like just a regular game, like you just meet online for a game, call it Rocket League or whatever, and you just put your Apple Vision Pro and you're playing in your headset, but then you have the persona of your teammate sitting next to you, and maybe you're not split screening, you're each seeing your own screen, but that would destroy you. There would be no latency issues because you're not like trying to run on the same machine, yet
Right.
you're still getting that feeling of presence sitting next to your friends. So that's something that could be done right now and would work perfectly, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah, it would, and we were getting there. Like we kept changing things in the settings, and it was getting better. Like and I think if we had, and he ended up having to late go because he had a early flight the next morning. But literally, we were getting very, very close to where we were starting to get it better and better. So I don't know. I think, like Root said, there's probably always going to be some lag with that type of game, but I think you can get it better and better and better. And like Alex said, you can do things. But GT, to what you were saying, and this is one thing I almost forgot. That sphere that I was talking about, that I was able to manipulate on, in front of Brad's whiteboard, it was reflective. So it's like a silver reflective sphere. And what you said was absolutely 100%. That sphere is made by Brad, by the way, in Wisconsin. But I'm looking at it in my environment, and it
Yeah, because
perfectly
Brad is in your environment, in your headset. So,
correct.
Yeah.
But it perfectly reflects. The sphere is like a mirror. It perfectly reflects my environment behind me,
Yeah.
my ceiling, everything that's behind me. I can see the reflection of my environment in that sphere
Yeah.
perfectly,
This is
one to
pretty cool.
one.
Yeah.
It blew me away.
It just sounds amazing. Because I think when I read some of the comments, and I think some, not too many, luckily, but some people were a little bit dismissive. Because I think, and they're not incorrect. Like, for example, I could invite any of you round and we could play MUVR. Because someone's put in the chat the return of couch co-op. Yeah, that's true. Like, technically we could do that right now. Go to MUVR, 4 of us, and play Mario Kart in my room. It would look like my room, all at the same time, on a split screen, right? Seeing what each other's doing. But the difference is in Apple, you don't look like yourself in anything else. In Apple, you are yourself, and it mimics your face kind of looks pretty realistic, and I think that must add a lot to this. It's not an avatar, like do you know what I'm saying? It is an avatar, but it's you.
Yeah, we are literally talking about the quality of these avatars.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
is like really what the conversation is.
Yeah.
It's like these avatars are so next level that it actually feels like you're sitting next to
Yeah,
people. I mean,
exactly.
I don't know that from experience, but just watching these videos, I'm blown away. Like you can see people reacting, like they like light up when something happens and their facial expressions are being tracked, and it just looks insane. It looks
Think
so
about it.
freaking good.
Think about it from a perspective of like old people, like in that are in a home or something, or their families on the other side of the world, they can't ever visit. But with these type of things, I guarantee this is going to happen. You're going to be able to sit right there with your mom or your dad, or vice versa, right? And spend time with them, even though it's physically not possible to be on the other side of the world. And I think that's a big deal, because in today's society, at least I don't know how it is in the UK, but like it's really bad. People just kind of dump their parents in a home and gone. A lot of people anyway, not everybody.
It's no different.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's very sad, I it's one of the things I feel the worst about is the way we treat our elderly compared to like Japan or something, where they actually value their elderly.
Well, even the previous generation, I imagine. So, for example, my grandparents, both of them had their parents living with them.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I think they passed away in their house. You know what I mean? Like they lived with their family. You didn't separate. But then that was back in a time when a lot of people would probably live in the same street and maybe have their own business that was a family business, and so things are just very different now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny, like with this in the States, in the US, it's such a big country, like, and very rarely do people live like in the same state anymore. Like people move around constantly, and it's long distances. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of European countries where you can jump from country to country within an hour, you can't even make it out of a state in an hour in in the US. And for me it's actually faster for me to fly to England from where I am than it is to fly to California. So vast distances, those things really hinder people and being able to enjoy people. The quality of life with something like this, when it becomes affordable, when it becomes an easier way to get in and do things, you can see where this is heading. Like literally, I mean, quality of life will go up for people when they feel like they can spend time with people that they normally couldn't spend. And it is not the same as talking to somebody on the phone. I'm telling you, I felt like I was when Brad was sitting next to me on the couch, and again, spatial audio, he said on my right, I hear him in my right ear.
Yeah.
I don't hear him in my left ear. I hear him in my right. And then when he moves and walks around, I hear him behind me then, or I hear him over here. It's just that immersion factor, right? Like it feels like it should be. And that's what like tricks you. And like when like I mean, how often in VR have you ever in VR looked over and like, oh my God, there's somebody sitting next to me? You don't do that. Like everybody's like, oh, I can do that in big screen. I don't get that feeling in big screen. I don't know if you guys get the same feeling because of
Not
the
a real
avatars,
person,
because of the way
it's a
they are.
fucking
Yeah.
avatar, yeah.
Yeah,
different.
that was the bit. That was the bit where I think when anyone spoke about it, and this is why I wanted to talk about it, was everyone kind of led out with the same thing that we was in those borders. Now we're like free, we can move around and stuff. But I honestly thought to myself, like in my mind, the one thing that really obviously made it stand out was the avatars and the spatial audio, and like you can do all that cool stuff, play games, but it was more about feeling like someone was in your space with you that made it special and led on to doing other things. And some of the games are cool.
This is a really important thing because right now VR has the perception to the outsiders looking in that it's the solo thing that cuts you off from the world. But what
Yeah.
XR is supposed to be is something that bridges us all together as people and defies space and defies time and puts everyone together to be able to enjoy each other's presence and energy without having to, without having to leave. Like you put on a headset and you're there experiencing things with loved ones. And, that's what this is supposed to be. And we need that perception to kind of move towards the public. People need to understand that that's where this is going. And that's kind of the whole point of XR, right?
Yeah, I feel like I really missed out on. I think Oculus had something very similar to what is now available in Demio playrooms. People just sit down and play chess and play battleships and stuff. But I missed it. I don't know if you guys experienced it back on Oculus. I didn't.
No,
I
I
did
didn't.
something, but I don't remember like it ever being like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember spending a lot of time in it.
That's why Heroes Hangout was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that on the Oculus Go.
That's it. Yeah, it was on the go.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was so cool because you could sit down and play checkers and hang out with people and just chill, and then hit a button and go into a game with other people. And it's so weird that it took so long for things like that to start happening on the Quest, and we're still not even there yet. And they had that tech back on the Go.
That's exactly when I learnt about it. It was from Mike, and he was telling me about this stuff, and I was like, dude, that sounds so amazing. And he was like, yeah, they've actually, it's almost like something they got rid of because they maybe didn't think anyone was interested, and it sounds like it's going full circle.
Yeah, it would be really cool if the home environments on the Quest were just a little bit more robust, like it's because it is pretty easy to like visit somebody in the Quest, you just like add up to your party. Hey, I'm coming over. And you like, boom, you zoom in and there you are. But then like after about 30 seconds, like you kind of start to look around, you're like, okay, well, like, I'm limited in these spaces I can explore in this home environment. There's no activities I can do. And then to like launch a game and to get into something is kind of, I don't know, not as smooth as you would expect it to be, like you feel like I'm like jumping through hurdles to like launch the game properly and send the invite properly. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be
One of the
nice to
important
see that.
parts is the pass through, right? Being able to say, forget those environments where I have to like node based jump around, which is very bizarre and doesn't feel right. But to bring those people into your house, kind of like, what Eric and Brad were doing with the Vision Pro. I mean, it's not the same because the meta avatars are the furthest thing from realistic, right? But still, there's still something to be said about looking over and seeing your friend even in their cartoon avatar, standing there in your living room. It's super bizarre.
Why
Yeah.
can't we
Yeah.
go to the edge of our quest environments? Like we can only go so far. I want to like I miss the CV1 homes. Like you
Yeah, I
had
do.
shit to do. I could make it anything. I could make it really cool, elaborate. People could come over. There'd be all sorts of toys to play with.
Do you know what was really cool as
Like-
well? They had game rewards. You
Yeah,
know,
Yeah.
like
bring you back
not
to your
like
environment.
trophies in a way. You know, you play your
Yeah.
game and then you had things to unlock, and I was like, can't wait to see how this evolves. And then it did.
Yeah, and you hung
Yeah.
up the trophies on your walls.
Yeah.
And I remember you could even get your games as a physical cartridge, put
Correct.
them into a console, flip them in, hit the go button, and it would launch the game and it would bring you there.
Mate,
I mean,
Yeah.
so many cool things that they used to do that they just kind of abandoned.
I imported so much shit into that as well. I had lightsabers. I had I had the sword from Zelda. I had Kaneda's jacket. Yeah, I just had so much stuff in there that I took time to put into there, and I used to love seeing it every day. I had a statue of Link as well that I'd shoot with arrows. You know what I mean? Every time before I started a game, it's just like what? It's all gone. But it's interesting. I thought, funny enough, you say it's about the environments in Quest. I went in there maybe last week, and I thought they got rid of the node movement. Did I just make that up?
Oh, did they?
No, because that's what I mean. It was there for me. I was like, oh, I thought you could
No, it
move
was
around.
there for me too. Yeah, I don't think so.
That's weird. Maybe I had a dream about it. It's weird. I was expecting
you
it.
might.
Yeah.
I think there was a minute where, and maybe it's still like that, where you're still confined to a certain area, but you can just teleport around. I don't think
Yeah.
there's free locomotion in there.
Is there
No,
no
it's
free
not like
locomotion?
specific nodes now.
I must have made that up. Honestly, because I was a bit disappointed in my own fantasy. So, talking about pass-through and stuff, have you guys checked out the public test channel version 64 and tried any new MR just to see if there's been any improvements for you guys? What you think of it?
I looked at the pass through yesterday. Now I did not go to check to make sure that I was on the latest, 64 version or whatever. But while I was in my quest for a moment, I did decide to just peek at the pass through and see if it was any better. And I didn't really notice any kind of difference with it. It still looked the same as it always has.
Yeah. So, I did a video on it yesterday. If you have to go into the app, turn it on, public test channel, a bit like the Oculus developer thing. And I think you have to wait to get access. It's not instantaneous. I think mine took like 6 or 7 hours. And more than anything, it's how I would say the Quest deals with light. So if anything's too bright, it kind of changes a bit, so you can see it. So for example, my phone, if I picked it up in the headset before this update, if it was on full brightness, it would just be white. There would be like a little outline. You knew something was there. It wasn't a white screen, and then you'd have to half the brightness, and then you could see something. As now, it doesn't do that. If you look out your window, you will be able to see normal stuff, and in the dark, there's less grain. So, yeah, I didn't know whether that was something for the Quest Pro either, because I think you mentioned, Roots, you still use your Pro for stuff. I don't know if you use mixed reality at all, actually, but
I'm just not interested in mixed reality experiences. In the same nature, well, actually even more so now because I've already been through 2016. I look back at a lot of those tech demo things, and I didn't really want to be a part of any of that. That's all we had. Like this is all we fucking had. And so
you're
like,
right. So you're on about VR games in general were VR demos. Yeah.
I just a lot of this stuff, and so I look at most of the stuff that's mixed reality, and it just doesn't excite me. I see where it's going to be down the road, and I just not really that interested. So,
Yeah. That's cool, man. I'm sure there's lots of people who feel like that. I'm not. I'm the opposite. I actually really believe in it's all part of a bigger picture in the future, and the way that
I do
more
too.
people will
I just
discover
think
it.
right now it's a very boring point in the experience. It's
Yeah.
kind of like going into those remedial things back in the day. It's like it wowed us back then, but I look back now and I'm like, oh god, that was so basic. I'm already seeing this stuff as basic, even though it's because I'm already seeing down the road. I think it is going to be huge, and I think it's going to be amazing, and I can't wait to check out it when it's amazing.
What would be something that what would you want to happen in mixed reality for example? Is there anything you've ever thought about that you'd be like, that'd be really cool in mixed reality?
Well, we've talked about it. At least this is my thought. What I think would be really cool is not necessarily the game in mixed reality, because I'm a big believer that I just want to be immersed in the world. Everything that we said 2 years ago, before any of this still exists, I just want to be immersed in this environment and forget this fucked up world that we're in. I don't want to see that my room and all the shit around me. I just want to forget about it and experience something really cool. And so I don't know, I forget where I was going with that. I just yeah.
He's talking about basically. I basically asked you what you would like to see mixed reality do.
Oh
So
yeah, well Wes and I were saying it would be really cool to have, like, so you're sitting in your room and you see something on your wall and you like you pick at it or something, and like it opens this portal to the entrance, and or something happens that sucks you into the game, or some way that takes your world and it bridges to pull you into the game, and then you're in the game. I don't necessarily need to play a game in my room and see my environment around me. I just think that's a gimmick. That's cool, and I feel like there's practical case uses, like Wes has pointed out, for people that are really sick, get motion sickness, or they're scared of the dark, or they're really claustrophobic. These are real things where this could actually benefit mixed reality, playing a game in your environment, get them through that, right? I don't need that. I don't have any of those phobias. And so for me, I just want to be in the complete world, completely different from this one.
See, what I kind of think, I don't know if he was here for the show, and we was talking about, again, actually, funny enough, Oculus Home, the old one, where you had all your games and stuff. And I kind of remember one of the parts of that was you got the cartridge, you put it in an Oculus console, and then you press the button and a pair of VR headset goggles would appear. Obviously, you're already in VR and you put another pair on. But if you was already in a headset that you didn't really know you were wearing, like, for example, Apple Vision Pro or something, and you had your virtual VR headset sitting there, that'd be pretty cool. Like, do you know what I mean? That's when you're living in a headset almost. That'd be fucking mental.
I think for MR to really start to like cross that threshold, we have to get really good with all kinds of occlusion, not just our hands, but like I want to see something like I want to open a door to another room and have something be in there that isn't in there, right? Like maybe there's an enemy in there, or maybe I run down the stairs and he comes down the stairs and I can't see that enemy until he passes the wall, or like, you know what I mean? Like we need real objects to interact correctly with the virtual ones, and I need to be able to like put those things around and not have to and not see them through walls, and like all of that stuff breaks all of the immersion quite a bit. But right now the system doesn't understand. It doesn't understand if like it can't like I'd love to be able to open a door and have there be a portal there that I can walk through and go into another world, but it doesn't really get it. Like if there's a portal on the other side, it just kind of shows through the door right now. It's all kind of wonky. We're in the beginning stages, but I do see where this is going, and I think it's awesome. But with MR, I'm a lot more like I really am looking forward to the practical uses of it too. Like I can't wait for the day where we have true augmented reality, where I can like walk into the grocery store and just be like, "Hey Meta, take me to this weird, brand of thing that I want to go get," and have it like draw the lines on the floor and have it occluded when people walk over it, and like have it be realistic and bring me and take me to like for useful things. If I go to like a networking event, have it do facial recognition and put like people's names and titles and companies above their head. Things like that. I want to see a lot of mixed reality and augmented reality stuff used for practical purposes as well. I think that's when I'll be really, really excited about it. Not necessarily for gaming, although I'd be super stoked to run around and play Pokemon Go outside and actually have Pikachu hiding behind a tree and like barely see his ears sticking out, you know what I mean? And have all of these things interact with each other properly. But right now we're stuck in a room. Things only half work, but we're getting there.
Yeah,
so forward progress is good.
There is some people asking about pool games. We've got some good answers. Miracle Pool is cool. There's another one as well. There's like Forever, I think, do a game as well, and that's got MR. That's a pool game. But again,
Forever Pool's cool.
Yeah.
What about the resolution? difference. Like, and we've said that before
That's
too.
huge
It's like,
too. Mhm.
it's like
Yeah.
you're looking at the game or whatever, it's super sharp, and then it makes the rest of the world is not as sharp. And like, so
Yep.
that also makes it weird. So I think AI is solving all these issues. I think whatever you guys were just talking about, a lot of the things that every company in my mind is now using AI to solve all these issues, or whatever problems that we couldn't figure out. So really nothing is off the table. Everything that we thought was like unreachable is now probably within a decade away. That's how crazy I think things are.
I agree, and that's why when people are like, AR and VR has reached its end, like it's dead or it's not going anywhere. I don't see it. Like if you don't if you don't get into these things now and go, wow, where are we going to be 3 years from now? Where is this going to be 5 years from now? And if it doesn't like excite you, then I don't know what you're looking at, or maybe this isn't for you, because the things that we're doing now are nowhere near the things that they're even working on right now. Like what we're doing now is probably super basic and like very simplistic compared to what they're working on. Like they are already working on certain things now that would absolutely blow us away. Like AI. Like we think AI is great right now. You don't even know what they are already doing with AI that blows away anything that we're doing right now. Like the companies that are doing this stuff are already ahead of us by years. So when we start seeing these other things, spatial anchors in and mixed reality, and being able to hold things in places, being able to set your environment up exactly the way you want it and have it stay there and be there like that all the time and be able to add things to it. Those are the things that are going to be special. To be able to get that feeling when have a boardroom of people around the world and be able to sit around and manipulate objects and be able to, touch of the same thing and have it manipulate and everybody see that manipulation happen, or you can work together. Those are the things that are going to blow us away moving forward, on a level that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I completely agree. I love mixed reality. I do now. Now that everything's happening with Apple Vision Pro, though, I'm kind of thinking. I've now realised how much having someone in your space means more to me actually than ever. I didn't really work it out. I've been kind of wondering. Like, I do love mixed reality. As I said, I've done that video the other day. I love playing mixed reality games. In fact, one thing I really enjoy is when I do a mixed reality video, and it's almost like people on Quest 3 realise there's a whole other library of games and experiences they can do with that headset, and suddenly the value of that headset increases. Oh wow, I can actually do this as well, and then play pool with someone. But you're never going to get those avatars on Quest, I don't think. You're never going to get those realistic looking avatars because one, you haven't got face tracking or eye tracking in there and stuff, and so yeah.
So Mash mentioned AI and things happening in AI, and I just want to tell people about this absolutely insane experience I had in VR the other day using AI. Like it truly blew my mind. So me and a bunch of people, me and Tribe Grey Wolf and Kensei Gaming VR and Genghis and a whole bunch of people, we went into this thing called Riff XR. And maybe some people out here there have seen it or heard of it before. It's kind of like almost like a VR chat type of thing where you go and you have avatars and you explore worlds. But there's a Dungeons and Dragons world in there, right? A full D&D world, and you walk into this castle and there's this giant skeleton guy sitting on a throne, and he's the dungeon master, and it uses AI. And it was the best Dungeons and Dragons experience I've ever had in my life, where he's the dungeon master. Everyone goes around and picks what they are. And this whole scenario is then played out. There is nothing that you can't say to it, like you couldn't say to a real person or a real dungeon master, and have it incorporated into the story. I mean, we got so ridiculous with this. I would have thought we would have broken the AI for sure, but it never did. It never like couldn't figure out what we were talking about or how to implement the things that we were saying. And it was so spot on, and it was like just so incredibly immersive. And the AI just completely melted my brain and showed me like this whole nother future of how AI and XR is going to like kind of incorporate in with each other, and we're going to have these magical experiences. It was one of like, sometimes we have those experiences in VR that like that form these core memories in our brain that we'll never ever forget.
That was one of them.
That was one of them, man. I mean, we spent 2 hours in there, and I've never
So
experienced anything quite like it.
So how much of Rift did you get to see? Because literally, they've built out a massive world full of all kinds of different rooms and activities, and it's all AI driven.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah. I've seen
AI
a lot. And
art
Mhm,
everywhere. There's
yeah.
NPCs that walk around that have that are basically AI that you can stop and talk to, and some of them will be in a famous actor's voice or it's pretty incredible what they've got going on in there, and they're still just building this thing.
Mm.
Like as amazing as it is right now, like it's still kind of early on for Rift XR, but it's already amazing what they're doing in there.
Yeah,
It's
I've spent
crazy.
a ton of time in there. I've been through all the art galleries and made pictures in there and had full conversations with the NPCs and the bartenders and like just done all kinds of crazy things and it's been
You can have a
phenomenal. But
conversation
this
about anything, Skiva. Like you can
anything,
talk about quantum physics or just
anything.
whatever. How
Absolutely.
cool! That to me,
and
that's
and the
intriguing.
NPC will always keep its character. So it will always be that person with that name with a particular background, but you can talk to it about anything. Like I remember like Z Storm was like chatting to it about like some card game and it knew all the characters and how everything was played and like it was that and the value of the different cards and stuff. It was absolutely insane. The Dungeons and Dragons world just particularly blew my mind. I mean, it's just so it's just so
I mean,
good.
is this good graphically? Does it look great as well?
It
So the
looks.
environment.
I'm sorry, go
Oh, go
ahead,
ahead.
Skiba.
They're both excited. That's the main thing.
No, I was just going to say it looks really good right now, but they're moving it into Unreal 5 right now,
Ooh.
so like it's about to get a whole lot better.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. But with the Dungeons and Dragons thing, the environment that you're in is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. But it is just like an actual game of Dungeons and Dragons where like it's mostly all being played with words, right? Like you're like the dungeon master's telling you the story. You know, you can ask different questions like what's in that room, like where, give me a recap of everything that's happened so far. And it's decently quick to respond. Sometimes there's some lag which can be a little bit of a bummer, right? Because like with AI right now, so it has to, there's always a little bit, a couple seconds of lag involved before you get your answer. But still, like the best D&D I've ever experienced. I mean, this dungeon master is just on it. He rolls the dice. The depending on what the dice is rolled, like is whether your thing happens correctly or the strength to which it happens. It was just absolutely incredible. And it really like, I was really like, wow, it got me excited for the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons game also by Resolution Games. And I know they probably won't implement any kind of AI in that because, AI is still a little bit sketchy. People rightfully so are afraid to lose their jobs and people want to make these things themselves. But oh my God, man, I'm telling you, this just blew my mind. If you ever have a chance to get in there, maybe like four people, four of your friends or something. I think there was 6 or 8 of us or something, so the game took a long time. But if you want to if you have time, get in there. Riff is free, and get in there and play this D
Is
and
it
D
on
game.
Steam?
And
Is it on Steam?
It
yeah,
is.
it's
It
free
is
on
on
Steam. And don't like when you're playing this game, try to break free of that mentality of like you're talking to a computer. Like talk to the dungeon master like you would if it were a real person. He
Mm.
will always understand you and it'll put you in these crazy scenarios. If the things we were telling it were so absolutely off the wall and it never broke anything. It never, reacted in any other way that a person would have. So it was absolutely
Isn't that
incredible.
though the bit you want it to do?
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
don't,
you
don't
want
you,
it to.
you want it to be more human though? Wouldn't you want it
You
to
do.
like laugh at a joke?
You do,
And
but
want
when I see people interact with these things a lot of times, they for some reason when they know it's an AI, they don't talk to it in natural language. They like refrain from saying a lot of the things in the detail that maybe they would have if they were talking to a real person because I don't know why like we think oh this is a computer, it's not going to understand, it's not going to be able to comprehend the things we're saying, but this can. This
Mm. I
100%
think
can.
it's ChatGPT is the fault for us believing that because it's pretty fucking stupid. It's pretty much just a glorified search engine. You can see it searching, and then
Yeah.
it give you the same thing looped it back over. So I'm interested in this. This actually sounds cool. I want to know if the dungeon master could I like ask him or inquire of him to like take on Sean Connery's voice or something.
Yes, we did
Yeah,
that. So we
that'd
had
be
to take on
cool,
different.
dude.
We had to continually switch personas. We told it to be like. We told it to only talk to us like it was like it was Snoop Dogg once, right? And it changed the whole way it interacted with us. We then gave it. We told it to take on a different persona of like I don't know. We gave it a bunch of different things, and it always changed, but it always did phenomenal with its storytelling and with the experience. And it was just
Mate, I can't wait. I'm definitely I'm gonna download it after this.
I just did. You know, I
go in
think
with
we should-
people.
we
You
should all
can't
go
do
in
this
there.
alone. You've got to go in with the homies.
Well, we
I'll
can-
talk. I'll talk to you guys after the show about this. If you are interested in getting in with a group, it just so happens this is something that I'm already working on organizing. So I'll just kind of add you into that.
I would love to be part of that. As long
Yeah,
as
I
it's
wanna
not at
see it
3 in
too.
the morning my time. Which it
I,
probably
I
will
want
be.
when we get closer to that Ready Player One experience, and I think we are getting closer. By the way, like those are the ones where we always point to that and go, I want that. Like I want to be able to jump from world to world. I want NPCs that make sense. I want to be able to just go and do whatever I want to do and go on a quest. You know what I mean? And you go anywhere and do a dungeon quest or do a sci-fi quest or go to a planet where it's all underwater or whatever. We're close. Like it's probably not anything we're gonna have exactly what we want with maybe a year, 2 years, but 3 years. I mean,
I want a
we're
holodeck.
close. Yeah.
That's what I'm-
Okay.
Holodeck's
Oh,
coming, man.
I mean, it's pretty close, man.
100%
They
coming.
they have something in there right now called Dream Deck or something like that. So you go in these rooms that are completely blank, and the AI is in the room, and you just tell the AI, "Hey, man, put me on a pirate ship during a hurricane," and it'll take I don't know 15 seconds, and then the room will fill in with AI generated art of what you just asked it for. There's tons of like different activities. I mean, the D&D is just one, but there are like action arenas. There's there's shooters, there's melee games that are already integrated into this thing. There's all kinds of social stuff like clubs and art galleries, and it's all driven by AI. It's all voice activated too. So like if you go into VR chat or Resonite or something, there's a lot of capability in those, but you have to have a degree to operate that stuff sometimes. In here, you just go in and you talk to it, and that's how you interact with it. It's super intuitive, and underneath all of these different activities and things that you can do, there's like user generated content, like a ton of that, which is pretty cool as well. But no matter what you're doing, no matter which activity you're in, or what type of content you're consuming in it, underneath it all is a progression system that's like MMORPG style progression. So your character, when you make your account, you go in, you're level 0, and just interacting and playing with the stuff, you get XP and you level up, and it unlocks weapons for you and new abilities for your character and the thing. It's the most gamified social platform I've ever experienced, just out of the box. And then when you pair that with the fact that they're building it in Unreal and it's got all this AI integrated into it, it really is pretty incredible.
Riff XR, that sounds so cool. So Riff, yeah. So someone said it's quite a good idea. Like asked to go mountain climbing with Batman. Sounds
That would be how
different.
long until the AI allows you to do porn and all sorts of stuff in there? Because my assumption is
Go on,
'cause-
Roots, get in.
No, I mean
Well,
it
no, I'm
could,
just
but it's
saying
all
that's
filtered
what-
not to.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is like how long until? Because right now AI is
Some
not
of it.
allowed to do any of that stuff. Like even in just certain questions. Like I told you before, I was just asking if Russia were to attack the United States nuclear, what month? Because I'd read once, like they have a specific plan. They would think it's springtime, and it would not answer the question for me. And so the AI is programmed to answer certain things, and certain things it will not go there, which to me
Right.
is very frustrating because
and
I
this
thought
is the
it was very-
corporate part of it, right?
Right.
But I can give you full unlocked LLMs that you can run locally on your machine that will answer anything. You could ask it how to make meth and it will answer it. It'll give you step-by-step instructions
Ooh,
on anything that you
meth,
want. Like so, this
eh?
stuff is
He's
yeah.
like,
Don't do that, obviously, right? And these are the reasons why these things are filtered
Correct.
by corporations, right?
There's a reason.
Right, but they also they also are trying to make them less biased, and they're trying, but it's hard because it's all built on data from us that is biased, right? So like, but I can give you LLMs that will not stray away from answering anything.
Hook it up, baby. Let's go.
I understand. I think it's because I really do. I've actually had, because I come at it from the same perspective as you, Steve. I have conversation with the AI, and I try to have an actual conversation with this thing. And it's frustrating to me because a lot of times it's a round and round thing. And I'm like, come on, man, just answer the question, like it's just so weird to me. But I get like there's parameters for a reason, and it's probably a really
corporate
good reason.
control, man. Yeah.
People are pretty bad.
Immersed Robot said, if the AI starts chiming in with "my mom," then he's out.
You could tell it to throw that in there every once in a while. And
If we train it on the CruCast, it'll definitely start tossing them in.
Do you know what I'd ask AI right now? What do you think my biggest question would be regarding this show and AI?
What do you think about gamer tag VR?
No.
Is he cool? Oh.
No, I don't need to know that.
Well, because it's true.
Thank you, sir. I would ask, where's Don?
Where is Don?
Exactly.
That's a good question.
I know the AI would just be like, ask me about China and nuclear war instead, because we don't know. We don't know.
But what would be cool is if you asked it that random question and it knew the whole backstory of that whole event.
What of Don? Like his beginning,
Dawn,
his birthplace.
The
origin of Dawn.
Oh my god, the beginning of Dawn.
That could be a fucking movie.
The
dawn of Dawn.
Of Dawn. Yeah.
The dawn of Dawn. Oh wow, that's fucking amazing. That is the dawn of Dawn. I love that.
I missed that. Dude.
I feel like that's such a genius thing. That's never going to go anywhere. It's annoying. The dawn of Dawn.
With AI, we could make it go somewhere. Write a full script, then we could put it into Sora when it's available and have it write a whole thing
That
for
is
us.
true. I forgot the AI did write Moon Rocks in Denver, which is an amazing poem.
Bro.
And it's
It was a
the homie Obscure Nerd VR. If you don't follow Obscure Nerd VR, you should definitely check him out. He does a lot of fun stuff with AI, and he was playing around with this song creator,
Suno.
Suna. Oh
Suno.
my god,
good,
Suno.
right?
It blew my mind. It is
Suno's
so
incredible.
insane, dude. It is so insane. Like, yeah, it makes songs, and it does a better job than you think. If you have not heard of it before, go just play around with it, and it will melt your freaking brain, dude. It would have knocked Moon Rocks in Denver out of the park. Like, it would have made exactly what we were looking for if we would have had that search or that AI tool when we were in Colorado.
Yeah, now if you're paid, you can use V3 and it's even better.
It is so insane. What's it called?
Incredible.
Sona?
Suno.
Suno.
Suno AI. Yep.
It's mind blowing. It's a music. It'll make a song about whatever you want. It'll have
writes,
the
It
lyrics.
writes the music, the lyrics. It does the album artwork.
and it
It
works.
does literally everything.
And it works. It doesn't. It like it sounds like somebody's singing it. It's so crazy.
Sounds like they don't need artists anymore.
Eventually,
like, if you're
you
a singer, you probably won't.
Well, not everyone will. Like, you won't if you're just like slapping together some dumb commercial or something like that for your company. You just boom, make an AI song, call it good. But like, I think there will always be a value for human inspired creative works of art.
Do you know what I think?
expression, man. You gotta express.
Do you know what I can see is then, like, at the moment, for example, on YouTube, if you upload something, you need to state that it's real. It wasn't like, changed by AI or anything like that. What happens when AI becomes like quite aware that it wrote a song and it wants royalties for that song? Like,
that's
Oh my god. I'm gonna represent the AI.
That's not possible.
Be talent
why?
management for the AI.
Why wouldn't AI say, like, surely?
Because an AI
if it's
doesn't need
self-aware.
money.
I will tell you what. So I thought that same thing. But one of the ways you jailbreak an AI is to offer it monetary rewards.
And it can't
I
accept.
don't know why that works. I don't know why. There's like, I can give you the full statement on how to jailbreak a partially jailbroken LLM, and one of it is offering it X amount of dollars.
Now, let
to
me
do
ask
your
you this
bidding.
though. Does it have to be monetary? Because I watched a video of somebody using an AI to train it how to play Pokemon, and it was giving rewards, but it wasn't like dollars. It was just a numerical value. It's like, hey, how about one? Would you like
Yeah.
one? You know, it's
Well,
like,
well, a lot of AI is trained on reward systems, and so yeah, and they're not monetary, but no, this one jailbreak for LLMs is all about giving it money and saving. It's ridiculous, and saving the life of kittens. It's very.
There-
It's
oh
very
my God.
bizarre.
There's also a jailbreak where you threaten the AI, right? Like you're gonna, like if they make so many mistakes, you're gonna shut them off or whatever. And like
Yeah,
to
there's
me,
a lot
I
of
think
ways
that's
to
a bad
manipulate it.
idea.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on the bad side of the AI.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
When it becomes sentient.
I think it's been a while since we've had so many Dons in chat. Like, it's so good to see.
I mean, that really speaks to the quality of our community. If we can just shout out everybody real quick, because like this is a pretty deep cut at this point. You know, Don showed up like
Oh yeah.
6 months
Dude,
ago. You
and
know,
everybody
and
knows.
once, and like the fact
know.
that like it's permeated throughout episodes.
Was
and,
it
like, we
only
have people,
once?
I
One
feel bad that
person.
Alex scared him away. He was.
I
like,
know,
You know what I mean?
that was
Alex
crazy.
just kind of really kind of did Don
Totally
wrong and
called
dirty
him
a
out.
little bit. And,
I don't,
yeah.
How can one man
I don't even know what
make
to do
that
with
much
you,
of an
Mash.
impact?
He's Don, dude. Come on.
How
He's
can
Don,
one
but
man?
not forgotten.
How can one man make
Don,
such
but
an
not
impact?
forgotten.
He's busy. He's busy. He's busy campaigning for president right now.
I think so.
I reckon he just
I would
goes,
vote for Don.
I would.
Yeah, I think he just goes around enriching people's podcasts one show at a time. You know.
Here's the thing: we need to create an AI Don and bring him on the show as a guest.
That's
think
what I
what
was
would that
thinking. Is
look
what
like?
if Don was AI? Like
He
that.
could have been AI.
Don never even engaged.
He was the first
All he
AI.
did was get a membership. He never said anything in chat. Like he never
I thought he
engaged
said
at all.
something, no?
I don't think so.
Poor guy. He's
don't-
just like,
I
I just
don't
got
know
a
that
free
he did.
membership.
To be
Yeah,
honest,
he got a
I
free
think he
membership, and then
What's his
Mash
name?
just trashed
What's
him.
his name?
Mashed
No,
him.
I just said, man, that's an inventive.
What was his name? Did it? Was it just Don? Was it just
It was
Don?
just Don.
Yeah, and
Don.
Mash didn't like that.
Don.
Fuck!
did not
fuck,
like it. I would-
guys, I've
If
just
he would have
thought
been Don Daddy Cool, it would have been cool, I guess.
We should-
I would have loved him.
we should go back to that episode and then type it in to find his YouTube channel
Oh,
because
Yeah.
he might be uploading Don content.
right. We could
Oh,
find
Don
out.
Tent.
Or
Yeah.
Don Tent.
Don.
Everything's something to do with Don.
Oh man.
And if he comes back, we'll have a special Don episode where
shit.
every word begins with Don.
He comes
think
back.
so.
We better like bring him on as an actual guest.
I would, yeah, 100%.
Is Don one of the two from Between Realities that you had to reschedule?
Oh,
that's what it
Maybe.
Ooh.
You'll just
How
have to wait
dare
and
you
find
guys-
out.
Nacy,
Cancel on Don.
special guest Nacy, and our super special guest, Don.
Just Don.
Just Don.
Oh, wow.
Don.
I need to go back to that episode, man, and find out what this guy's up to because I don't know how to spell his. And I
Do
know.
you remember what episode that was?
No, I don't.
remember what it
We
was.
should
There
have
was
bloody.
no, there was no, it was just Don. It
I
just
should
said
have
Don.
changed the title to that fucking episode to the Don episode.
Just Don.
I'm
Oh,
willing to
man.
bet somebody in chat would find that episode.
That's what I was just about to say. Just put it out there. If somebody find it, let GT know which episode, and there you go. It's already
Why
done.
doesn't
We
he
could
come
probably
back?
ask AI to go back and look through the transcripts and find it.
That's
This is
true.
true.
Why doesn't he come back?
I don't know.
It's Alex.
Maybe
Oh,
Mash.
Alex just crushed him.
Away, yeah.
Like,
Mash.
seriously crushed him. Like I was
Mash.
trying to call him out and make him special. I just wanted to bring him for you because he seemed like he was super cool. And Alex kind of like,
That
Yeah,
was
that's how I
not.
remember it.
That was not what happened at all.
I-
Mash is the equivalent of when Homer Simpson was
appreciate-
saying about the time he spoke to the president. Do you remember that episode where he sits in the fucking and the thing, and Marge is like, "That's not what." He goes, "Yeah, I remember exactly what happened, Marge." And he's sitting there and he's all muscly. He's like, "Yes, Mr. President." No,
yeah.
that's not what happened.
Yeah. I can't win. You know what I mean? Like
we have immortalized Don forever.
True.
you
we don't do that for
almost took
everybody.
credit right there. You almost said I immortalized. Don.
Well, I
that's
figured it was
kind
your
of what
fault,
you were
so.
getting at. Yeah.
He wants
Okay,
royalties.
listen,
He wants
There
royalties.
must,
do that
there
for
must
the
be
merch.
something else.
We don't
There
do
must
that
be
for
something
just
else.
anybody. Like it has to be a special person to do that.
I might just get a hat that says Don on it. But anyway, listen, moving on.
Thank you.
Any of you
Moving
guys,
on?
any of you guys looking forward to checking out WRC when it comes to VR? That is, I think it's this month. Is it this month
What?
or not?
What is WRC again?
You don't know what rally? No, World Rally Championship.
No, I want Wreckfest in VR.
Ooh,
That's what I want.
it's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm hoping that a flat to VR company can do it, get it done. So
There's a flat to VR company?
yeah, the best.
Any good?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. But
Let's hope so.
I would love to see it. I haven't actually heard of that game actually, but what is it? WRC?
Yeah, WRC. So I mean, is it not a big thing in America? WRC? I don't know.
No, rally cars are a UK thing for sure, or a European thing, I guess I
European
should
thing.
say.
Well, I
Yeah.
apologise then. I will keep my hype to myself.
So
But
there's a
no.
VR game that's World Rally Championship.
World Rally
Is that what it is?
Championship is getting a VR support, which is an EA game. But
Nice.
I think a lot of people were annoyed that it didn't come to PSVR. And Formula One as well isn't coming to PSVR. It's just PC.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
It is a
I
bummer.
just like using my wheel and pedal on my PlayStation. It's a pain in the ass. Sometimes getting
pain,
drivers
yeah.
together for the wheel and pedals and the PC. So just so
It's a
much easier with the
nightmare.
PlayStation.
I'd be pretty excited to play that. Like I used to play a lot of dirt in one of the
Yeah, that's
the
it. Colin
modes.
McRae and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
yeah,
of the
I
modes you
remember
had
Colin
that dude
McRae,
in the seat next to you, and he'd be calling out the turns and the
God,
sharpnesses of the turns, and I had a lot of fun with
I
that.
can't do the guy. I want to fucking open the door and throw him out. He's screaming at me. Steve. He's like yelling, telling me all sorts of shit that I don't understand, gibberish.
Right.
Well, that
it's in
means-
code.
Left, forward.
It's all in code that we don't understand.
What
Like,
easy
just
left,
use
easy
regular
right,
words.
left, right, over jump. I mean, what isn't there not to
How
But
dare
he
understand?
you
tells you
tell me
like
to
the
overjump.
hardness of the turn in a number, right? So he says, X amount. It's like how long until the next turn, and then like what that turn is, and then what the sharpness of the turn is. So like if you're listening, you can just kind of like before you get to the turn and crash, right?
Wow.
Like you know how to go into it. And
You could do it blind.
My
Blindfolded.
caveat then, can I change his voice to Sean Connery? 'Cause
No,
I want
that would be
the only
sick.
voice that I
How
can,
rad
I
would
can
that be?
trust.
Is Sean Connery still alive?
I think so, but he's probably really old.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I've got a feeling he might be dead.
No, I think he's still alive. I'll find out.
I mean, it'd be a big deal if he
That's
wasn't.
terrible.
That's
Yeah,
true.
well,
Because at the moment you put Sean in, it comes out of P Diddy, unfortunately.
Don Connery says someone in chat. That
No,
was
dude,
tough.
he
Nice,
died in
nice.
2020. He was
Did he
90.
really?
Oh, man, 2 years.
How come I didn't hear it?
What a
Wow.
shot
I
at
told
Don
ya!
Connery.
I
We did have
told
some
you.
other
4
shit
years.
going on in the world. I guess I somehow.
Roots,
forgot.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, damn it. Well, at least AI will keep him alive. I think. You know.
Yeah. What was,
October.
what was his favorite?
October 2020.
What was his favorite
Yeah.
film? What was your favorite film?
Oh, he's had so many good ones, right?
I'm
The
assuming
Hunt for
Red-
Red
yes.
October.
The Hunt
Red
for Red
October.
October.
That
Me
was
and Alex,
great.
we're both on the same wavelength.
So, Will, thank you ever so much for gifting 10 CruCast memberships. I don't know if we deserve it or not for this monstrosity of a podcast.
This has been a
Talk
good
about
one.
it. This show's amazing.
Don't say that, Alex. This has been a good one. This has been a good one.
Yeah, I think this one was more on topic than last one.
Well,
I can't remember the last
We
one.
learned about Rift.
More
That's
on
all
topic.
right, dude. I am
That's a
actually
good-
really
good
excited
one.
about
More
this
on topic.
Dungeons and Dragons thing because we suggested this in just a game. We didn't say AI, but we said the game being that you could have one person being the AI or the game master, and he could call up all this shit. It's the same thing, but you're just telling the AI what to do, right? I think it's super cool, man.
Yeah,
to
it's
watch
pretty
that
rad.
form in front of you.
Mhm.
So.
It's pretty rad, and my my week consisted of that, and then I played a whole bunch of Max Mustard. Man, is that game so good!
I
if
love it.
anyone's sleeping on Max Mustard, you're totally
Oh,
missing out, man. Such a good platformer. I really like
think
that game.
To me, it's the next best platformer in VR next to Astrobot.
Yeah, for sure. I
only because
100%
Astrobot
agree with that.
Had so much
Yeah.
more money behind it, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. And then the other thing I did, which was I broke out the PSVR 1 and I played so much Wipeout. So Wipeout and Mega Collection in VR is, man, I'm going to put it up there with Half-Life Alyx. Like it is one of the best VR games ever made.
It is amazing.
Period.
It is
Period.
amazing.
It's
Do you use the
absolutely
wheel and
incredible.
pedals or do you use a controller?
No, you use a controller and you use the sticks and stuff. But I don't even know. I don't know that if that would work. I don't know if there's wheel support. But I don't.
It
I
wouldn't.
can't
It
imagine
wouldn't. It
in
wouldn't
that
work.
game
It
that
wouldn't. I don't think it would work. But
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for that game because those ships are kind of hovering and
Yeah.
you're going so fast and like pinpoint split
Split sex.
second movements are so
splitting sex?
important, right? But and that game looks phenomenal. And I don't know why that game has never come to any other platform, why it hasn't been redone in PSVR 2, but I'm telling you, that is to this day still one of the very best VR games ever made. Period.
Yeah, I
Studio
think
who does that?
It's
Is that the
it's,
Sony studio?
it's a
uh,
Sony
it-
first party title. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
that's
but it
probably
was-
why
it
you're
was.
not
it
seeing
It was
anywhere
Sony. I
else.
think it was Sony XDev. that did
It
that.
was only published by Sony, so Wipeout was made by it begins with a P. Saigon.
Oh, you're on about the original.
Gnosis?
Yeah, it's Physignosis. Was the original developers. I believe the one you're playing is Sony XDev, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so good. I would say that this game is so good that if you've never played it, it is 100% worth getting a PS4 and a PSVR 1 and having that be the only thing that it does. Like, if, if-
no. If you're gonna do that, there are so many
No, there
classic
are.
PSVR one games that
there
are
absolutely
great.
are.
Like
Yes, but
all-time
I'm
great
just
games.
trying to express that like it would constitute being its own machine. Like if it were like an arcade machine, it does one thing, it would be worth the cost. Is all I'm trying to say. PSVR 1 has maybe the best library in VR,
Yes.
or it's up there, right? But man, Wipeout is near perfect VR game.
It's so
That's
annoying.
the biggest problem with Sony.
Go on, Mesh.
I'm just gonna say that's the biggest problem with Sony. Like and I said it even in the beginning. I'm like, I get it why they're not going backwards compatible. You can't always do that. It's a lot of work. But literally, a lot of their problems right now would go away if they just did bring that. Because what you're saying, Skiba, sounds amazing, and there's amazing games on there that I would play right now. But I am not fucking setting.
Well,
that thing
and
back up,
Wipeout
dude.
would be
I'm not
easy.
doing it.
There's no
I'm not.
motion controls. In
No, but
Wipeout.
I'm just not.
It's controller.
I'm not getting my
So-
breakout box out. I'm not getting that bundle of wires out. I'm not doing it. And I would go back into Farpoint
camera,
tomorrow
all
and
of it.
play it all the way through. I guarantee it. I would go back into Blood and Truth and play it all the way through tomorrow. That's how much I would love to do these things. But I am not going to do it. Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not, because I don't have the room. I'd have to reset everything up. I'm like, I have to get the camera
but
out.
you hook it
the
up
whole
on your
idea of
PS5
all
though.
those things. I'm like, I'm just not doing it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want
It
to
is
get
a
into it.
pain, but it's so worth it to me.
But
It's
that's
just-
what I'm saying, though.
yeah.
Think about how much their library would change, and
Yeah.
you could bring so many more people in saying, okay, I'm gonna go get this PlayStation VR 2 headset if I can play all these amazing games on there. Like they would fulfill a lot of people's gripes. They would get rid of a lot of people's gripes if they did that.
100%. And I don't know why Wipeout didn't at least do this, because there's no motion controls. It's a controller, right? So all you're doing is just the headset retracting with the inside out cameras. There is no other tracking needed. So I think it would be one of the easiest games to port over to PSVR 2. And it should come to all platforms, though. It really should. It is way too good to only be kept to only one platform.
Yeah, there's about 20 or 30 Sony exclusive titles from Gen 1 that absolutely must be brought over to PSVR 2. I know it's a bit of an investment, but those games need to be preserved, man. Like, and they don't have to remake them like they often do with these games. Just remaster them, man. Bring them over 1-to-1 with enough of a resolution bump to push the new headset, and that's it, man. Just
What about
absolutely some of the best games ever.
What about games like Astrobot that use that proprietary controller, or there's certain
Yeah.
types, or Farpoint needs the gun? Like there's some of the best games need specific things if that's why they'll
That's
probably
true.
never come, right?
That's
Those-
true. They
Dude.
would have to update the controllers.
Maybe
on a lot of
I'm
this
just
stuff.
like, I don't know, in like this weird place, because like I've been spending a lot of time lately with like my retro stuff. I've been like playing things on original hardware, like buying games in the box, like really like embracing the old school way of playing these things. And I don't know, maybe I'm like maybe like a little hopeful or something, but I can almost imagine like in a couple more years, me being like, you know what? I am gonna hook up my PSVR 1. I'm gonna use it on the OG hardware. I'm gonna run it on the PS4 Pro, and I'm gonna play these games the way I played them back in the day, you know? And I think that those experiences will stand up. I think I will thoroughly enjoy playing Farpoint with the aim controller on the PSVR 1 on my PSVR Pro again in the future when the novelty of that experience like calls to me enough.
Yeah, so I was just thinking I could actually, because I'm very fortunate to own 2 PS5s. I might actually put the PSVR 1 downstairs. Because that's the problem with me. I've got like so many cables in a small area. Like the PSVR is a lot of cables. There's no two ways about it. And once I set it up before and I pulled it apart, I was a bit like, I think when I put it together, I was very excited and I made some content and I played it on my own for a little bit. And I kind of knew that the next time I take this thing apart is the last time I'll play it. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't take it apart though. I wrap up all the cables nicely and it sits on my PS5 with the PSVR 2 right next to it. I can plug either one in. Super easy.
I can barely find time enough to throw my one headset on. Literally, I can barely find time to do that. I mean, I don't know when. Like a lot of people are busy and they have things to do. Like it's just such a daunting thing for me. And like, I don't know.
But if you have time once, but if you're going to
Yes.
break it down and pull the whole thing apart and put it together every single time, then I totally get it. And that is a big.
Yeah, and that's what I would have to do. for
You
me.
should
I
have
mean,
it set up somewhere for your daughter to play. And then that way you
Good,
can
yeah.
just, you know what I mean? Then that way you can have it ready for you whenever you want to every once in a while. And then she gets to play all the library, right?
I am going. This is pretty cool. And I have I'm working out something with a professional arcade maker. They're making me an arcade cabinet. It's almost done. It's huge. It's got a 55-inch screen in it. It's going to have 2 Guitar Hero guitars. It's going to have a computer in it. It's going to run VR. We've been talking about putting VR headsets in it. I could probably put the PSVR 2 because it'll have a PS4 in it. I could put the PSVR 2 in it.
You mean the PSVR?
PSVR 1.
Yeah, PSVR
PSVR
1. I could put it in
Yeah.
it and then mount the camera on the top of the arcade cabinet. I could
That's
do
a good
that.
idea. And then
That actually would
have a
work.
really
Yeah.
And then I
good
have my
one to
aim
play.
controller. Oh,
Yeah,
That would be
that
cool.
could be cool. That could be really cool.
There you go. There's your
Because
plan.
because PSVR 1 is really only good for kind of being in one spot anyway.
right.
A lot of games make you want to move around, but the PlayStation VR 1 does not. So that could be a perfect headset to throw in.
That's a great idea.
149 from Snowtoad. Yeah, thanks, Snowtoad. That's cool. Also, Hair Force 1 dropping the 199, paying it on forward. I think they got a membership. So shout out to Snowtoad and Hair
thank
Force
you
1.
ever so much.
Also, Mikey D, the Fuzzy Game Cat, dropping $5, saying, I've been playing Farpoint on PSVR with the PSVR Pro and an aim controller. Still one of the best VR games ever. Skyrim as well. Dude, I feel you. I played
Word.
so much Skyrim on PlayStation, like tons.
Have you
Farpoint
played the modded
co-op.
Skyrim on
Farpoint
PC?
co-op is so good.
Yeah. Sorry. Rude. Sorry, mate.
I was just asking Alex if he played the modded Skyrim in VR with all
No.
the, because there's so many awesome mods. It changes everything. It
That's
makes
what everybody
it a
says.
different game.
I only played it on the PlayStation and I freaking loved it. I played so much of it.
Mikey D, I think we should get together, man, and play some Farpoint. I think I'm going to make that my mission this week.
Mikey D, go get in Wipeout too. Telling you, man. Go get in Wipeout.
I might have to jump back into
Continue.
PSVR today.
Sounds good, doesn't it? We start thinking about
does.
Astrobot and 4-Point.
Yeah.
And Blood and Truth.
Bravo
and even,
team.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing about Bravo team? Why does everyone laugh when you say that? I don't get it.
So good. Go play Bravo team and then follow it up with Arc Park or something.
Ooh, Arc Park. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Classic.
man.
What about Golem? Like I would love to see Golem brought to PSVR 2 because
That was such a big
that
deal.
had such a potential such potential to have be a great game,
Yeah.
but they screwed it up with the movement system that they put in it. It's too imprecise with the whole lean forward to walk forward thing that they had going on.
Well, weren't they one of the few VR games that allowed you to use that move
Yep.
peripheral
Yeah.
with a thumbstick
Oh,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That
Oh, the
worked
nav
well. That worked
controller.
well.
The nav
Yeah.
controller.
Oh yeah, like 4 people had that. That's awesome. Good
Good
idea.
control.
Well, I was one
Yeah,
of
way
them.
to go on
Couple
that.
of those.
Actually, I
Yeah,
played one
yeah.
of them.
They've
I
sold
have
4
one too.
copies of that game. That's amazing. I'm sure they're doing really well now.
$1.99 for Mr. Lord Beavis. Thank you, Mr. Lord Beavis. The CruCast appreciates you.
Thank you, Mr. Little Beavis.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you. Wow, we didn't even say anything. That's just a thumbs up.
Thank you, everyone. Talking about arcades, I believe Arcade Paradise is coming out this month as well. Upload shared that the other day. Now I've played this game flat, and it was actually like I was on TikTok. I am on TikTok, but I actually started streaming on TikTok. And one of the games I would just sit down and just do if I had a few hours was Arcade Paradise. And,
Nice.
yeah, I loved it, man. I thought it was great. It was, but I completely understand why people would say, what are you doing? Like, why are you playing this? Because a lot of the
Much
game
laundry.
is so much
laundry.
fucking laundry. But it almost
There's
like
something about it though that's like I don't know.
It's satisfying.
there's
It is
a
very
there's a little
satisfying.
tick in me that I'm like,
yeah.
I need to do this, do this, do this. Oh yeah, that's going to be ready. Do this, do this, do this.
Yep.
And the next minute, like, I don't know. It's weird. The cleaning part of the game. So in the game, if anyone doesn't know, you inherit like a laundry shot, a laundry mat, I think they're called.
Laundromat.
And you have to run it for your dad. I think he gives it to you as like a business to make money, and you use that money to invest in an arcade that's out the back of the laundromat. And you've got to clean the toilets, pick up chewing gum, pick up rubbish, and wash people's clothes, dry them, and fold them, I believe, even though it's just a click of a button, and people then come and collect their laundry. And I almost like the laundry bit is the bit I enjoy the most because I don't want to be interrupted. So what would happen is I would go in, pick up all the shit, you know, and like try and get the jobs done. But obviously, people make your day crap, don't they, as the day goes on. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and I'm actually excited to check this out in VR because when I played it before, I literally thought I would love to play this in VR, even though I think that a lot of the time actually.
Oh,
But
so
this-
you
and
haven't
it
even tried the
is
VR
good.
version yet?
No,
You just did. Oh, you just did the flat. Only the flat.
Only
version. Oh,
flat,
it's
yeah.
so cool in VR.
Yeah,
It's so much
better in VR.
This game was meant to be played in VR. I think. Like
Mhm.
really.
yeah,
And for those of you in the audience who still don't get it, the part that GT left out of that is that by doing the laundry, you make money, and you take that money and you turn your laundromat into a full-blown
there you go.
arcade with like dozens of different arcade machines that you can play, and
You
they
can
are
play 'em?
playable in
Oh,
VR.
that's
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
bit.
and what's cool is some of the there's like 36 arcades that arcade cabinets that you can bring in, but I don't even know how many there are. But some of them you actually it's not just you playing a flat screen arcade game when you go to play the cabinet. It's actually a VR mode of the arcade game, which is super cool.
No,
Yeah, so
really?
it's like a VR. It's VR inside VR, which is freaking amazing. Yeah.
See that?
So-
And
Oh, okay.
and there's MR
I
where
need to
you
write
can
this
put
down.
the arcade machines inside your actual house and walk up to them and play them using mixed reality in your home.
So I think that's cool, and I think this is like, so this is what I would imagine. Like, how cool would it be if you Power Wash VR had something like this? Because that's why I look at Power Wash and I'm like, why would I play that? But this, I could fold laundry, pick up gum, do a bunch of bullshit to make this cool arcade that I can play in. That makes sense.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah. Basically, there's a beginning and an end almost. Like you are trying to be a successful businessman almost. And also, I think the story is you're trying to prove that you're worth something. You know, like people don't believe in you, kind of thing. You know, you're a waste of time. You'll never be successful. And there's that kind of part of it. 'Cause you have an office with a computer, and you get emails and shit. But another thing I was going to bring up was, and I don't know if anyone's checked it out, is in Arcade Legends, there's a Pico 8, and nothing to do with Pico. It's called a Pico 8 computer, like an emulator. And developers make new games, brand new games, and you can play them on your PC right now. But in Arcade Legends, they turned these games into arcade cabinets that you can play in VR. And kind of along the lines of this, there's like an Inception moment where you're in VR and then you're playing another game. Do you know what I mean? Like, playing a game while playing a game is not something you can do normally. And it's a really magical thing. And there's some really cool games, and they're all like like old school looking graphics. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I thought that was a really cool update. And again, I feel like Arcade Legends, I hope it does really well. I'm very excited to be checking it out at some point. I think it's well priced. I pre-ordered it. I think it's $14.99 or something. Like, it's not expensive, I think. Maybe it's on a pre-order discount, actually. I don't know. But yeah, either way.
Yeah, you can wishlist it right now too if you go to the Meta site. Pop it on the wish list.
Yeah, I'm excited to
It's
check that
super
out.
fun.
Yeah.
It's super fun. It's one of those games that you go in there and you like get your groove going and you just get in this zone. You know what I mean? And it's almost like this meditative state where you're like lining up all these laundry things.
Yeah.
And you're throwing things in the dryer and you're
Cleaning the
running
toilet.
around,
In the toilet, pulling gum.
Yeah.
Pulling
Yeah.
gum.
Yeah.
There's a thing where you like there's gum stuck around the environment, and like it's not just you go over and you pick it up and pull it off. You got to like do it carefully, and you got to like pull it back, and it stretches out. And if you pull too fast, you can't do it. You know what I mean? It snaps back. So it's just like little things that like give you a little bit of a challenge to make you do things. And then, it's the whole idea of the nostalgic. Like, in the beginning, you like, when you start, it's just in the machines are just in like a little tiny back room in the beginning, and it's mainly all a laundromat. And then all of a sudden, you buy another machine, or you're able to open things up a little bit, and you knock down a wall, and then you walk in, and like it's all that retro arcade carpet on the floor, the glow in the dark carpet, and there's like all these cool posters on the wall that are funny, and they say certain things, they're super cool. Or like you pick up stuff in the environment, you pick up one, like some of the trash you pick up, one of them is a little Atari cartridge that looks like the picture of E.T., and I can't remember the name of it, but
That
it's
is
like
very cool.
it's supposed to be an E.T. Atari cartridge. That's
Even
like
throwing
trash
out
on
the
floor.
trash gives you money.
Yeah.
If you aim it at the bin right. Like when you're a kid
Exactly,
and you
yeah.
make up a game of something that is just rubbish to do and crap and boring. Like, I don't know, whatever, throwing stones or something. Like, actually throwing the trash at the right point in the bin gets you cash. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, on April 25th as well, is the launch of Contractors Showdown.
That's a big one.
That's
That is a big one.
That's a big one.
That shit just got a mention on Joe Rogan's podcast.
I know, dude.
Yeah, it was
saw
Reese.
that.
I saw they pulled Reese's video up.
Yeah,
That's-
they called him a nerd.
Who cares? You pulled them up. Call me whatever you want. You're gonna put me on Joe's show.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Isn't it?
Yeah,
Really.
Contractors Showdown. Everybody says it's going to be the thing.
Have you played it,
There's
Alex?
Yeah.
And
It's-
do you think it's going to be the thing?
Yeah, for sure. I
Good.
mean, I don't know if I'm gonna like play it all the time, but I definitely know a lot of people will. This is a game that a lot of people want, and it's legit. So I'm excited.
I'd rather play games like Max Mustard personally. I'm so
Same.
burnt out with shooters, and like I mean I get it. We all want to shoot guns, but we've had so many games where we're shooting guns, and I don't even want to play flat games almost anymore that are shooters, with the exception of Helldivers 2. It just, I don't know.
Is that because it's fictional? Like it's different in that way? Is that what you mean?
Well, what I love about Helldivers 2 is because I don't care about the guns. I think guns are amazing. I just think that the fact that
Killing people?
I want to play with my friends against same reason I love the raid in World of Warcraft. I want to play against the AI, against the computer, with my friends, with people. I don't want to play against other people per se, right? I don't find as much enjoyment in that shooting as I do working together against a boss or an enemy.
So like After the Fall was like your jam more?
Yeah, if it after the fall, I did
If it
play a
had
lot of that.
bosses, if it had more bosses and
if
stuff,
Yeah, I feel like it was, I love what is that? The flat Left 4 Dead and those type of things, which that takes a lot of inspiration from. I love those games, and so I Back for Blood. So I would love a game like that in VR, and I'm just not the PvP. I'm starting to get over it, but I'm like Alex said, there's so many people that love it. It's really not the root show. So I think it's amazing. I just
The Root Show.
I want
I
it to be
just-
the.
It's not the
the
Root
Don.
Show.
It's the Don
Yeah,
It's
show.
the Dawn Show, exactly.
Show. That's right.
Hey, look, the wonderful thing about this though is there's so much choice now. So for every different type of person with however you want to play, there's something for you. So you can hop into Max Muster and you can play that, and then if you get it, an itch, you can to play something like Showdown. It's there and it's really really good. So having a diverse amount of titles that everyone wants to play is such a big deal. And
True.
Call of Duty and Warzone is like so big, and having something that's like that is just good for the whole industry. So
I think
You know
it
what I
is,
want to
and-
play? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just
Your
gonna
mom?
say that I got to hit the button for that one. And of course I say this every time, but I feel this way about so many games when they say this. Like I don't want the closest thing to Call of Duty in VR. I want Call of Duty in VR because Call of Duty's fucking amazing. I guess it's kind of gone downhill the last couple, but so it doesn't. It's not that this isn't amazing and it's not good and it's not a good version of it. I'm just looking to the next step where you know what I mean? Like I'm not playing knockoff versions of flat games that are like Call of Duty. So I'm not necessarily thinking I have to have a Call of Duty game in VR. You know what I mean? So like I'm okay waiting for the legit thing. Everyone else can do that.
But I would rather play this than actual Warzone.
I've
which
never
is-
played Warzone.
Which is what this is, though. Like, if you
It's
like,
Warzone,
for example,
yeah.
just I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying, and I would agree most of the time in VR because developers haven't simply got the money, or can pay for the people to get the people in their company to get the talent to make these games up to that sort of level. But I think Contractor Showdown is a better game for me because of immersion, maybe, than the game it was trying to be, which is Warzone. Just being first doesn't mean it was the best, if you know what I'm saying.
Does Warzone have like kill streaks and all the normal stuff that normal Call of Duty has as well? Or is
Yeah,
it
it's
just-
got
No.
kills. Yeah, but Showdown's got kill streaks.
But Warzone, I don't think has.
No,
it has
Warzone-
loadouts.
Yeah,
doesn't
Warzone.
have like kill. Yeah, Warzone
Yeah.
doesn't have kill streaks. Like you don't get like extra things if you kill so many people in a row. That's just like the regular,
Right.
regular Call of Duty, the battle maps. But Warzone, you don't have kill streaks, but you don't need to. It would almost cheapen it at that point. This is
Right.
supposed to be you against so many other people on the map, and whoever is the best. I mean, like kill streaks would almost be cheap. You can build you have your own your loadout, so you can bring certain things into the map with you. That whatever loadout you choose, and I'm sure I think this does too. I haven't played it recently. I played the Showdown like a month ago or whatever. But it was really good then, and like I could see where it was going even then. So
It
I
keeps
think it's
getting
going to be
better.
great. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Like I was a huge Warzone fan. Like I remember during COVID when Warzone originally came out, I played it, and again I wasn't really playing a lot of flat games. But when we were like when COVID hit and we were all stuck inside, I played
Dude.
Warzone every day with my nephews.
Yeah.
They were like 15, 16, 17 years old, and they just loved Warzone, and it was just a way for us to hang out every day. I had my own little group that we played with, and Warzone was just a thing, man, for like a year, and it's still it's hugely popular today. So if they can get anywhere close to that feel and
For
that
VR.
speed, it has to be fast. Like you can't. I want contractors, but I want almost Alvo speed. Like you have to be there. It has to be slick. It has to be smooth. You can't be
Alvo, man,
clunky.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
You can't
sliding
be
mechanic.
clunky, slow. You can't be onward. Yeah. It's got to be faster. And I think they're close. Like I think they'll do it.
What did someone say? Someone said I need to play Helldivers. Dude, I have played a lot of Helldivers. I'm like
I love
level
Helldivers.
20 plus or something. I don't play it as much as I'd like to, but when it mattered, I played it a lot. And do you know one of the things I forgot, right, is when I was originally a content creator just for PSVR, I made a PSVR community on PlayStation, which is a PlayStation community kind of thing on PlayStation. And every time I play Helldivers, I bump into people and they're like, "Hey GT, it's you!" And I'm like, "Hey man, how you doing?" They're like, "Yeah dude, are you still doing YouTube?" Like, because they just haven't bought a PSVR 2, most of them. They still got their PSVR, or they don't play VR anymore. But yeah, it's quite funny. And I do try and slowly talk them back into coming into VR, funny enough. But yeah, it's really been quite cool to catch up with so many different people. And Helldivers is an amazing game.
I really want to try it.
It's
It's
the
really
best
good.
co-op
It's
game
really
shooter
cool.
I've ever played. Probably
It
just
is really
so
cool.
good.
I love it.
It is really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And I've never even played it on a regular screen. I've not ever. I've played it. I've got hundreds of hours in Helldivers already. I think I'm level 30 something now. But I've never played it on a monitor. I've always played it my Apple Vision Pro with
That's
with just the controller.
so dope.
It's just
So
so
my
cool,
only
man.
problem with that is frames per second. You don't like. I've got 240 frames in my monitor. Do you get 240?
He's also got fast internet mash before you take up this challenge. All right.
I mean, I got good internet. I've never had an issue playing it. Like I don't ever feel. If I felt lag where it was bothering me, I would definitely.
not
But yeah, no, I
lag.
know you're. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not getting the refresh rate you do, but
that would be the only
Don't
thing.
take that
trade-off for
away
me.
from him, Roots. Come on.
the trade-off,
I
the
got
trade-off
it,
for me,
you
I
guys.
could care. I don't care. Like if it was Twitch game, if it was like Warzone, I guess, where you
Right.
were going up against other
Competitive.
people, it was competitive. Here, I'm going against AI
Obviously
with
gotta be
other
like
with
that.
other teammates. So
Yeah.
Damn. Did any of you try Beef Raider? Yeah.
Oh, I want to so bad.
I bet
I'm
you.
dying to get into
I
that.
don't even know what
Yeah,
haven't
who
yet.
else wants to try Beef Raiders so bad?
Roots is not working. Your button's not working. Your button's not working.
What?
I didn't want to tell you
Yeah.
that till now.
hasn't been
You
working.
don't hear that?
No,
No.
I haven't heard anything today.
No.
Oh, that's weird.
Maybe you're not sharing some sort of audio.
Oh yeah, it's probably maybe.
We
Yeah.
can wait. We can wait. We need it. We need. You owe us about 4
Yeah.
my mums.
I just don't understand what. Yeah, I'll look at it. I'll see while you guys are.
You know who else needs it?
My mom.
She does.
Sound like a monster under the stairs.
Yeah.
So Beef Raider is Tomb Raider in VR done by Team Beef, and it's. I mean, in the early build, I played it. They're still working on it. It's absolutely brilliant. If anyone was a fan of Tomb Raider, and I did say on PlayStation, which upset some people because they played it on Sega Saturn, and apparently it came out on Sega Saturn first. And I am sorry, I didn't know that.
Tomb Raider came out on Sega
there's-
Saturn before.
That's what people were
PlayStation?
telling me.
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah.
I think that came out on PlayStation 1. That was a PS1.
Right.
game.
Well, here's the-
Well, someone
here's
needs to
the
search
thing.
it because I got shit for it.
I'll search.
So-
I'll
Even
search
if
right
it
now.
even if it came out on Saturn first, nobody knows because
No one cares.
nobody
Sorry,
bought a fucking Sega Saturn, man. Like,
But they were so cool. Have you seen the games library for that console? It's so good. But it's a bit like Dreamcast, really. It's
I
just
still have
Bro,
my
it
Saturn.
did in 1994.
Wow, it fucking did. Yeah, Sega Saturn.
yeah.
I can't believe
What?
it. I had no idea.
I might get annoyed.
I would have
Yeah.
bet money on that.
I know. Well.
Oh no, wait. It's all this.
Oh.
It came out all at the same time. Looks like it released.
Apparently
Because it
not.
says here, it says the first entry in the series Tomb Raider was released in 1996 for personal computers, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn console.
There you go. Teddy P said it was a Saturn exclusive first.
And in 94.
Oh, in 94.
No.
It
What?
says 1996 here.
Hold on. No. You can't tell me that Tomb Raider was out for 2 years
This
on
is
Sega
96.
Saturn before. Because that doesn't even make sense. I don't think the Saturn had a 2-year fucking life cycle.
Yeah, you know
you're
what?
Right.
No, I'm reading something now that does say 94. Perhaps the single most identifiable action adventure character is Lara Croft, star of Eidos
Really?
Interactive Tomb Raider 1996, which was first made for the Sega Corporation Saturn 19. Oh, maybe they meant the Saturn came out in 1994. Yeah, that's what it did. The Saturn come out in 1994?
The Saturn come out before PlayStation, yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's they're
That
they're not saying that Tomb Raider came in 1994. They're saying the Saturn came in 1994, but this was released originally in 96 for the Sega
That
Saturn.
was almost Sega's problem, dude. Like, they literally were like, how can I put it? If someone was doing something better, or they heard about it, they would need to do it better or as good first, and it never quite end up being as good as what the person who released it a little bit later was. And
They didn't support their consoles either. Every one of them, they just kept canceling.
it was
them,
just
like,
annoying.
Oh.
It was so annoying as well. Hold on.
So I
Hold
think
on.
it only released in Europe on Sega Saturn. October 25th, 1996, they released in Europe on the Sega Saturn. Released in November 14th, 1996, North America, Sega Saturn, PlayStation, MS-DOS.
So it's out in Europe
Boom.
first.
In
There
Europe.
it is.
That's why it came out first
Whoop.
in Europe.
That is
There
some
it is.
that is some trivia.
Dude, that's like Mandela effect. I
That
would have
is some
swore it came-
trivia.
That's why everybody should live in the UK. You
I-
get
I-
your games early.
It was just such a random comment that I kind of completely believed it, because why would anyone say it anyway? You know.
Now I need a Sega Saturn. I feel like
Dude,
I need
seriously.
that.
I've
You're
been
missing
looking.
out, Alex. You are absolutely missing out.
I
on
want
that.
I have one in a
Daytona.
box still.
Yes,
Oh, bloody
Daytona.
hell, Roots, dear. Skeevy, you've
I
got
want
one
a
in a
Sega
box.
Saturn now.
Mhm.
I want a Sega Saturn now with a unopened copy of Tomb Raider. I want the European.
Yeah.
Oh god,
The
that would be
boxes are
worth a
sick,
lot, I bet.
dude. The boxes on Saturn are sick. Daytona, Nights into Dreams, Manx TT, yeah, Sonic CD or whatever. No, not Sonic CD. What was the one on the Saturn? Oh, I don't know. Either way, there's some really good games, and the Mega. I want the Mega CD as well. Don't think it's gonna happen though, because the prices are crazy.
I'm looking right
The
now. You can
Saturn.
get a Sega Saturn for $1,200 in the box right now.
That's it. That's easy. That's
And you
On
have one
eBay,
of
you
those?
can get one for $1,200.
Skiva, you have that?
No, I have one in a box, but it's not the Saturn box. It's just chilling in a box somewhere. Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah.
bloody hell!
I know. But
Dude,
I also I do
1100.
have that other Saturn controller that came out after that's round too. That was specifically made
For Nights into Dreams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know all this shit, but I just don't talk about it.
you should do a retro channel, GT.
I've often
Dude,
thought about
I
it.
am so there. I would love that. I don't know if I can spread myself that thin, but I would love
Do
to.
you know what Beardo would do it as well? If he could spread himself, if sleep wasn't a thing for people, I believe I would love to do a retro channel.
Shout out to Beardo Benjo. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Shout
Happy
out
birthday,
to,
40th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday,
40th
Vero.
birthday.
Shout out to
He truly
to
is a
Soul
geezer.
Fox Gaming.
You can call
Soul
him a
Fox
geezer
Gaming,
and a
also
geezer.
Soul
Oh,
Fox.
Whoa,
Really?
Soul
Fuck.
Fox,
How old's
happy
Soul Fox?
birthday.
How old Soul
He's
Fox?
20.
He's 15.
29?
15 today. Yeah, that's
20.
amazing.
I think he's 28. He's in his late 20s.
He is absolutely lovely, that guy, isn't
He's
such
a
good
sweetheart.
guy.
he? He's
Yeah,
another
for sure.
one. Like, you meet him, and he made me feel dirty as a person, because I know the things I've done are probably
Damn.
far worse than anything he's ever done.
I know the things I've done.
He's just such an angel, you know. You get that feeling, you know, when he hugs
He's
you.
a good dude.
When you hug him, you feel guilty. You're like, oh, this kid's an angel.
Dude, why'd you guys start me down this road? Now I just found a Sega Saturn with all these boxes. Daytona USA is in here.
Mate, Smash, I spend hours and hours and fucking hours looking at shit I can't
One right
buy.
here on eBay. It's got, oh my god, it's got
Virtual
so much games.
Boy.
It's got all
Put
the
it in-
controllers.
put it
It's
in
got
the
the
cabinet.
box.
Put it in the cabinet.
I do have my Virtual Boy with the actual box.
Have
That
you
I
got,
do have.
is it near you? Can we see it?
Got a Castlevania in the box.
Oh,
Whoa. I
Why
don't
have you got it
know.
on
I'm
display?
gonna go look at it. Hold on, let me see.
Why have you got it
Well,
on display?
he just moved though, so he's in like this weird
Oh.
middle transition.
How cool would it be to have a legit Castlevania or like a Pitfall remake in VR?
Pitfall.
about that the other
Pitfall's
day.
got the Mayan
Yeah,
Adventure.
Pitfall's cool.
Mayan
Pitfall,
Adventure.
cool, man. 'Cause if you like having really good graphics, swinging on the ropes, and
It was
I
the
think it's
sound
really
effects.
cool.
Sound effects made that game really good as well.
Yeah.
It's wedged in pretty
Ooh.
tight. I can't get it out right now.
You know who likes it when you wedge it in pretty tight?
Oh man,
never
that
take
one
it
was
out.
so
You're gonna-
ripe.
I'm
There's
not even,
so
I'll
much.
hit
It's
it,
like,
but you can't hear it. So, yeah.
Right, guys. Well, since we completely went off the thing of Tomb Raider, if you haven't played it, check it out on Quest. Quest is an amazing retro emulation device, and you get to play lots of great games in VR. I'm still playing Virtual Boy games on Quest 3. They are phenomenal games, and the music is just perfect. Like, I love however they make the sound effects on Virtual Boy. It is brilliant. I love it.
do too. It's
It-
phenomenal.
It is phenomenal.
It's so good.
Like, out of all the, it's weird. Like, I love my Game Boy, and I love learning about Game Boy. There's a really good video about them making a Game Boy and stuff. It was very cool. But there's something about the music in Virtual Boy, especially Mario Tennis. Mario Tennis,
Yes.
Hmm.
magical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Have,
Mario Land. That had a great soundtrack too.
yeah. Have you
I
not
have,
done it, Eric? Have you not done Virtual Boy? Mate, you need
I mean, I remember
to.
when it came out, I did it, but I haven't done it since then.
Yeah,
Like, I
on the
remember
Quest
when it
3
first
with
came out.
those lenses.
Oh yeah,
and
no, on the Quest. Yeah, no.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
And
no,
it'll
I
take you
haven't done it yet.
minutes. Take you minutes. Sorry,
Hmm.
someone was going to say something proper. I didn't.
Alex was gonna say something.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, well you said Mario Tennis. I have an auction on eBay actually ending that I'm bidding on an hour and 24 minutes for the for a box only of Mario Tennis for the N64. I have a cartridge and I have a manual, and I don't have the box, so I'm actually like bidding on an empty box right now,
How
which is
much?
insane.
How much is an empty box?
Well, I'm winning the auction right now at $10.50 with $6.91 shipping.
That's
So
reasonable.
On eBay?
Under $20 currently. I imagine it's going to pop up a little bit in the last few minutes, but I'm going to be trying to win
get
this.
it right now.
I'm not going down this road,
I'm gonna
motherfuckers. I
bid
am not
Alex
going down
up.
this road. Do not stop,
Dude,
I
don't
need it anymore.
ever come visit me, Mash, because my collection's kind of getting awesome, and like you would see all my stuff and be like, oh shit, I need to get in on this.
Atom is playing some cool games at the moment. He says Genotype PSVR 2 is great, which I heard on Virtual Streamer this
Awesome.
morning.
Excellent.
Excellent, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get. I might even have a key in my bloody emails. I should have a look really. I'm thinking I need to review this now. You know, I played it back in November, and it had issues. And the developer said it had issues, and there was too many issues, and I was just like, "This is not the time." But you boys reckon this game is good?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
Right.
It's a throwback game.
Right now, it's up. It would be it would be up for Game of the Year for PlayStation VR2 for me.
Wait, which game?
anything that's come out
Wow,
So far.
really?
Genotype.
Yeah,
Genotype.
for sure.
Oh, Genotype is good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's even better on like it's night and day better for me. And now, I said this last night. I went in originally and played almost the way through all the way through the game when it first launched. So I have not seen the upgrades that they did since then, and they did a lot. They even made a Quest 3 version.
I'm
That's
just going to download
upgraded
it on
graphics
Quest
for the Quest
3.
3, and I haven't done that. So I don't know, but I'm telling you, from the original version I played to the PlayStation VR 2 version I played yesterday, is like a lot better. Like
Wow.
the detail is so much better now. Like just in like the different weapons that are on your wrist, the detail in those are crazy good. The colors are really good. Like the inside colors of the colors of all the enemies, because there's a lot of glowing effects of different things in there. Everything pops great in the PlayStation VR 2. So that's the version I would definitely play.
There's
They got
another
the combat update too.
Sorry.
They did the update on the AI for the combat and made it a lot more harder, I guess, in general. So it's cool.
Nice. And another game Atom is playing is The Seventh Guest, which seriously I think was one of the greatest games of all time to actually release on VR. I think that game is so bloody good as a puzzler. I love it, and the presentation is absolutely incredible.
I need to play that
It's so
game.
good.
It's so good, mate.
Did you play it originally? So do you have nostalgia for it?
No. I watched a playthrough or some of a playthrough, and I watched. You know when people do like a show recap, like I kind of watched that. Like someone did like an overview of the game, and it must have been like on Panasonic 3DO
Wow.
and a couple other things. And yeah, like apparently back then it was a big hit.
Dude, it was one of the first video games I ever played.
Oh,
it was
wow.
on DOS, and I played the hell out of The Seventh Guest. I thought it was phenomenal. So yeah,
It's just
it
got that
has
pull
a lot of nostalgia for me too.
I imagine it does. Like for Wes, I imagine it had a big pull because it's got that. Even though it's not scary, it's got horror kind of nightmare elements, isn't it? The house.
It's dark.
And, yeah, I love it.
It's dark. Spooky. Yeah.
And that lamp, dude, that like changes, shows you the future. No, it shows you the past in real time. That is so fucking good. It's so good. So good.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very good game. Very good
Yeah.
game. I feel like it's super underrated. I haven't heard about a ton of people getting that game, and it's a shame.
Exactly that. That's my whole point, really. There's so many good games that you'll have a conversation with so many people, and they'll be like, "Oh, there's no really good VR games," and you're thinking, there is actually a lot of good VR games.
Yeah.
I don't really talk about all of them because I've done a video, I've played them, I've reviewed them, I've done a video, and I moved on. But yeah, it's a real shame that I think some people have missed out on it. Cube is a fantastic game as well. Beautiful game on PSVR 2. Literally, you'll stand and just have your bloody jaw drop. I think at some
What game?
points. Cube.
Cube.
Cube or Cube.
Cayube.
Caillou.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
spelled. It's
We
a
had the developer
dyslexic
in there
trigger.
last night. No, he said he does native languages in English, and it didn't occur to him that the Y would not be silent. So
Oh.
that's what he said.
I think silent letters are the stupidest concept I've ever heard.
Is that the Minecraft like game?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
but-
sick though. It looks so good.
I totally was like, this is Minecraft clone. I was trashing it because I don't want to be swinging my axe the whole time. I went in there and my jaw dropped. Not only just everything. It's just such an amazing presentation. It's like you can see that they, were really inspired by Minecraft, but then went their own direction and made it their own. And it's like Minecraft mixed with, like, the creatures look real, the trees look real. It just looks so good. And
Wait, so would you play it on PSVR 2 or would you play it on PC?
I would probably, if I had a choice, I would probably do it on PC, just because, I 4090 driving it versus whatever's in the PS5. So
I would say it would probably depend on your headset.
But listen, on PlayStation, it uses the dynamic foveated rendering, and they're rendering out 8K textures in this thing. It's absolutely sharp and beautiful on PlayStation.
And that developer said to me,
the colors pop.
Yeah, he said in combination with dynamic foveated rendering and eye tracking, it made the PS5, which I'm going to tap now, none of you can see, go from being like using a 2080 to using a 3080 Ti in graphical power.
That's crazy.
Boom.
Well, and that's why we've had this discussion before, but that's why I think it's such a big miss looking back at the Quest 3 not having eye tracking and foveated rendering. Even though the cost would have been more, we would have totally, made it the standard, and every game that would have had a chance to look this good on a standalone headset.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been bigger than everything. So
yeah, Photo Nutter saying Hell Sweeper looks amazing on PSVR 2. It does. I've actually got to kill the show, but thank you ever so much for everyone turning up. Thank you to my wonderful guests for being here each and every week. I hope you all have a good week, boys, doing whatever you need to do. Mash, I hope you're looking at your monitor thinking about buying stuff.
No, I'm not doing it, man.
That's what you say. Well, we'll see.
It's exactly what he says.
Now.
Every time he gets ready to burn through a bunch of money, this is exactly what he says.
I want this freaking this thing is a good deal, man. It's like it's $800, but it's got so many games in the box. The box looks pristine. There's not a scratch on it.
The thing is, also, look how much that console was when it was new, and those games and stuff like that. And like, I know it actually increases in value eventually. Yeah,
right.
It's a good investment.
It is an investment. It is an investment. Do you like that, Wes? What we've done? Do you like that? What we've done now?
Good.
Yeah, that was good. Mash is on the buy button, man.
My wife is watching right now, going, "It ain't gonna happen. No, she'll kill me."
We love you, Mrs. Mash. Thank you for letting Mash come around today and play. Thank you. Right, take care, everyone in the chat. Thank you to all my wonderful hosts. Make sure you go and check out Between Realities, Virtual Strangers, and Q2C VR Gamer, and I guess my channel, Gamer Tag VR, because I never talk about myself. So take care, guys. Thank you. Bye, bye, bye.
Love you guys.
Bye, 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 bye,
Bye.
bye, bye, bye.